Hey YouTube, CatmanAwesome9 here again with another deck profile. This one's probably my most, not unique per se, but more, the most different deck that I've probably shown you guys. It's a Yubel deck, and Yubel is really, really fun, and I've been playtesting it all day on DN, and it can be very consistent when, it's not inconsistent, but it's not super consistent. But when it does get Yubel, I mean, you can make rank 10s and everything. I don't have the extra deck for it because I cannot find Super Dreadnought Rail, Max, Gustav, whatever you want to call it. If I could get 2 of those, that's pretty much all you need for the extra deck if you really want to run them, because it just speeds along the deck's burn damage property. So that's kind of cool. But I'll go over, and quick, this is not my own, it is my build. But what I did was, I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why, but I had the sudden jolt, the sudden realization, I should build Yubel. I have all the Yubel cards, I love Yubel, why don't I build it? And I watched like 4 deck profiles, and with each one I just was like, wait a minute, I have that card, I have those cards, wait a minute, I like this combo. And there are still 2 proxies in here because I've got to get 2 Armageddon Knights, but the rest of it's all here, and when I get those Armageddon Knights, I will play this deck with Armageddon Knight. So that'll make this deck way more consistent than just one. But let's go ahead and get this started. So to start, we've got our Yubel lineup. I run 2 of the first form, 2 of the second form, and 1 of the third form. The reason being, the first form, you have to get the second form. The second form is the good form, and the third form's good, but it's not as good as the second form. The first form can't be destroyed by battle. Your opponent takes damage equal to the attack of the monster that attacks it, but if it attacks, it can be destroyed, or, well, yeah, but they just don't take the damage if you attack with it, so it's not as good, and you have to send a monster every end phase or it destroys itself, and if it's destroyed except for by itself, you get the Terror Incarnate. Terror Incarnate, at every end phase, each one of my end phases, it destroys all monsters except for itself, which is why it's so mean. It's like a dark hole every single turn, but still leaves you with some field presence. So if they don't get any back row going, you can just drop another monster and punch them in the face for like 14 or 17, because there's not very big monsters in this deck. But then, you know, destroy everything anyway, and it's a good way to get Sandgen effects. I run 2 of these, just like I run 2 of the first form, because the first form can easily get into the second form. And like I was saying, for making rank 10s with this deck, you have to use Yubel, but you can get 2 Yubels out in 1 turn, which is kind of sweet. But or you can even level leader this Yubel and then activate, what's the name of it? Lets you get this back. Limit reverse or called on, and bring this back and then overlay them. So that would work too. But that's Terror Incarnate when he's removed from the field. So. And trust me, people will question you on this all the time. They did it with me on DN all day today. If they banish it, they'll try and banish it with BLS. They'll try and get rid of it using anything they can. He just leaves the field and the third form comes. It doesn't matter how he leaves the field. If he's destroyed, if he's put in your hand, if he's put in your deck, if he's banished, you know, that automatically. So that's why he's pretty awesome. And then the third form can't be destroyed by battle, and when it battles, so you can attack it into your opponent's monsters, they take the damage equal to that monster's attack, and then it's destroyed. So, like, they drop BLS, banish him. They don't have any back row, you bring out him. Your turn, you attack their BLS just got destroyed. So they just lost BLS and 3,000 life points to get rid of the second form. So, kind of awesome. But this form, you don't use the Ultimate Nightmare as much as the Terror Incarnate. The Terror Incarnate will sit on your field for probably majority of the game, just keeping it clean. So they can't really make any plays, and they're just kind of stuck behind you. Then we move on, we got 3 Dark Grepher. This card is really, really good in this deck because you don't want to draw any of these. And if you do draw these, you want to draw Grepher. Because with Grepher's effect, you can discard, like, if you draw Ultimate Nightmare and the first form of Yubel in your first hand with Dark Grepher, you can ditch Yubel, special summon Dark Grepher. Dark Grepher's effect you can send this Yubel to the grave to send the second form of Yubel. So you have all 3 in your grave, so you don't have to dig through your deck. But at the same time, you're probably still going to want to special summon out of your deck if you can. But then you don't have to worry about drawing them as often, because then there's only 2 Yubels sitting in your deck instead of, 3? Which isn't that big of a thinning, but even if you don't draw another Yubel form, you can go ahead and get out of the 5, out of the 5, you can go ahead and start getting them out of your deck really fast. Other than that, it's your 1700. This is, I think, the biggest attacker in this deck, so that's saying something. The Yubel decks don't really need big attackers because Ultimate Nightmare keeps the field clean and they eventually run out of monsters and they can't do anything. This is 3 Armageddon Knight, which I am proxying in too. At 3, this card is very consistent. It just lets you ditch a dark monster in your deck to the graveyard. So, level leaders, your Yubel forms, anything. Just get rid of them as fast as you can. So your graveyard is... You're playing out of your graveyard 95% of the time with this deck. So, there's no real minus to it. He's got 1400 attack, so he's a decent little face punch if you need to use him for that too. So, there's that. And then I run 3 Mystic Tomato, because Mystic Tomato can special summon Yubel. But if they have a lot of monsters and I really don't want to, deal with drawing a whole bunch of tomatoes, I can tomato into tomato into tomato into either Armageddon Knight or Yubel. So that's always a fun play. You can do whatever you want really with Mystic Tomato in this deck, because I think probably about 35% of your deck is accessible by him. It's pretty awesome. Or 45, or no, a little over 50%. Then we have 2 Stygian Street Patrol. This is one that not a lot of people actually run with Yubel. But I thought, I have 3 of these, and this card could be really useful. Plus, it's a dark, so, because, my entire monsters are dark except for 1. In Stygian, when he destroys a monster by battle, and sends it to the graveyard, your opponent takes damage equal to 100 times its level. He's got 1600 attack, so he can get over, 3s and 4s, for the most part, unless they have, a Labyrinth Wall. I don't know why, or some sort of really big defender with really low attack that you get into attack position. You could hit with Stygian, but other than that, not really anything big he can do. His real special deal is you get him in your graveyard, you can banish him from your graveyard to special summon Yubel, the first form, out of your hand. So it's just a free way to get Yubel. Level Leader, this is one that some people run, other people don't, but probably should, in my opinion, because you just special summon it for Yubel 1, so if Yubel 1's on the field and you don't have a way to destroy it, you can keep it safe for a while. Other than that, it's a 600 attack, so if you need to really get that 2000 damage in, normal summon your Armageddon Knight, send your Level Leader, special summon Level Leader off of Yubel, punch for 2k, end your turn, and it gets destroyed. So no real minus on that, so that's pretty cool. We have 1 Morphing Jar for draw power, because this deck... you have to be able to draw the things. You have to have a good hand, or this deck will not play right. And if they run into Morphing Jar, and you ditch, 2 Yubels out of your hand, wow, you just put your Yubels in your grave for, your Call of the Haunted, and then you can draw into Call of the Haunteds, and limit removal, or reversals, and you're just set up. So, Morphing Jar is kind of a techie one, I think, but, I saw a guy's profile, if I remember it, I'll put it in the description. But he was using Morphing Jar for the draw power too, and it is a very good option. 1 Sangin, because it's Sangin. It gets me my Yubels. If I need one in my hand, because I've got the others in my grave and I can't get them out any other way, just Sangin. Let's see, it's parallel too. It looks really cool. Next we have 3 Call of the Haunted. This is this is the biggest play, this is as much as the deck really does, is you just ditch Yubel to the grave, activate Call of the Haunted, special summon it, MST, or a Heavy Storm, or do anything you can to destroy it other than that. So there's so many different ways then that you could lose it, which in most games is so bad, but it's a really weird deck, so, you can Call the Haunted, if they play Heavy or MST, just chain it, be like, nope, it's cool, I'll make Yubel, you destroy that, it destroys Yubel, then it's not destroyed by its own effect, so I get second form out, and then you lose whatever you just summoned. Good play. Then we have 2 Raigeki Break. This is one that I chose personally because it's another way to ditch Yubel to the grave. If I top deck Yubel and Raigeki Break, it's you summon a monster, it's gone, Yubel's in the grave, activate Call, or limiter removal, and, or reversal. I always call it removal because I'm thinking of the And I know there's a limiter removal, which is a spell card, quick play spell that increases machine attack. But you use Regeki Break and you just pop their monster they just summon and get out your Yubel, and then it gets destroyed and you win. So, limit reverse. Lets you special summon one monster with 1,000 or less attack from your graveyard in face-up attack position. So this really only applies to Yubel. You bring out Yubel. Yubel can't do anything. Then, it sits there and attack, right? Now, if that monster's changed to defense position, it's destroy. You destroy limit reverse, and when limit reverse is destroyed, it destroys your monster. So it inadvertently is the easiest way in the entire deck to destroy Yubel. And I only run 2 because I could only find 2 this morning. I gave up looking through my 10s. So, because I have like a whole bunch of commons, and it's not fun to go through. So I quit, but I found 2, and if I find a third one, it'll probably go in here over the Regeki Breaks, or maybe one of these. Needle Sealing, I do run 2, because I saw a guy was running 1. It's the same guy who's running Morphing Jar. It's just an easy way to destroy your face-up Yubels when there's 4 monsters on the field. So if they're setting a whole bunch of monsters, you can just pop your own Yubel and get out the second one, and then end your turn and blow everything up. So, Needle Sealing is pretty good. I'm surprised this card is actually at 2, but at the same time, there's no real reason for it to be hit, because it only destroys face-up. So, another one that I saw someone else running, which was Fiendish Chain, because the deck runs a lot of continuous traps. But if you bring out like if you have the first form out and he brings out BLS or Chaos Sorcerer, you have to chain it, because you can't let him destroy it or banish it. It has to be destroyed first before he can banish it to get its effect. So, that kind of sucks, but you can also use it, like, if they're just making bigger monsters than you can handle, big effect monsters, just chain it, end your turn, and they can't do anything about it. So, chain does work when skill drain's on the field. Chain works no matter what, as long as it's an effect monster. Some people don't know that, but it's kind of cool. 2 Torrential, because it destroys the whole field when my Yubels get summoned. So I can just, like, summon a Yubel, blow the whole field up, get my next form of Yubel. It's never bad. 1 Dark Hole, destroys your monsters and my Yubel, gets me my next form. I run 1 DDR, which is what another guy was running, because he ran Allure of Darkness. So if you Allure of Darkness and you banish out your Yubel, you can play DDR, grab it back, and if DDR gets popped, you get to bring him out again. So, pretty awesome. Foolish Burial, just puts your Yubels in the grave, or your Love Leaders. Rhoda, to add your Greffers and your Armageddon Knights, because they actually do make a big difference. The speed at which you can get them does determine the speed of your deck. That is something important to remember. 1 Heavy Storm, because it pops all my Spell and Trap cards, so it'll special summon my Yubels, And 1 Pot of Avarice, because you'll always have things in your graveyard. You'll always have monsters just filling your graveyard, because that's all you do is put monsters in your graveyard. That's the whole deck, really. Now, for, where is it? I know there was something special I was supposed to think about. For the second Yubel. Quick note, this deck cannot win without your opponent attacking. So, until you get the third form out. Which I know I said it's terrible, but it is kind of like your only way to win. So, with that in mind, the second form will just basically make your opponent lose all their monsters. So you're just slowly face-punching them and they have no monsters. That's the entire point of this form. But that can be really annoying and can really set your opponent back. It doesn't necessarily win, but it does set them back. So, something to remember. In the first form, you do have to tribute or it is destroyed by its own effect, and then you do not get the second form. So you can't just Yubel and let it get it destroyed by its own effect and grab the second form. Well, that's it for me today. Fish098 on DN. Hit me up on DN. Catman Awesome 9 signing out.